This is Anders with Research Collective here in Tempe, Arizona. Today I'd like to talk to you about FDA's latest human factors guidance, released in December of 2022. The title is Content of Human Factors Information in Medical Device Marketing Submissions, and the purpose of this new document is to complement and provide some clarifications to the existing guidance document released in 2016, which was Applying Human Factors and Usability Engineering to Medical Devices. We do have an article on our website that more thoroughly describes the changes from 2016 to 2022, but today in this video we'd like to just go over some of the high points. The first thing we'd like to go over are a few of the definitions that FDA added to the 2022 guidance. Most notably are two of them, serious harm and serious injury. Now, the definition of a critical task, according to the FDA, includes tasks that would or could cause serious harm if performed incorrectly or not at all. Note the word serious harm in that definition. The problem was that FDA did not previously define what serious harm was, so all of the manufacturers kind of had to come up with their own definition, and not everyone was using the same definition of serious harm. Moving forward, this will help manufacturers be more consistent with FDA's definition of what harm is serious or not serious, and therefore it'll provide a lot more clarity in determining which tasks are supposed to be critical or not. One of the major points of the 2022 guidance here are the introduction of three submission categories. So FDA describes these three medical device submission categories determined by three variables. The first variable is whether the device is new or a modified device from an existing product. The second is what that change is, if applicable. And the third is whether critical tasks are involved or affected. So if we take a look at the table on your screen here, this table summarizes the categories quite nicely. Category 1 is going to be modifications to an existing device, but none of the changes have anything to do with the UI, the intended users, intended uses, intended use environment, training, or labeling. And of course, new devices are not applicable to Category 1. Category 2 would be modifications to an existing device or new devices, but there aren't any critical tasks. So none are being introduced, nor are any being impacted by a change. Category 3 is going to be new devices and modifications to existing devices that do impact or introduce critical tasks. By using these descriptions, manufacturers can determine what human factors information is needed for their submission. FDA describes exactly what should be discussed in each of the human factors submissions in each of the three categories. If we look at this table here, all three submissions require a conclusion and a high-level summary of their human factors activities. So that would be section 1 only. Category 2 submissions require additional human factors information, such as the descriptions of intended device users, uses, use environments, and training, description of device user interface, and summaries of known use problems. That would be sections 2, 3, and 4. As the only category with critical tasks involved, only category 3 requires sections 5 through 8 of the Human Factors Engineering report. The last thing I'd like to talk about in terms of the new 2022 guidance is the recommended content of human factors information from section to section. Most notable are sections 3, 5, and 7. If we take a look at section 3 of the HFE UE report, that's the description of the device user interface. According to the FDA in 2022, if the submission is a modified device, the agency wants manufacturers to explicitly describe the differences between the existing device and the modified device, including images. This is something that manufacturers may or may not have been doing up until now, but FDA has made it clear that they want those differences to be described explicitly in Section 3. Now, in Section 5, that's the summary of preliminary analyses and evaluations. Now, FDA has not changed what they want in terms of the content of this section. They've only changed the order. Previously, the summary of preliminary analyses and evaluations was found in Section 6. Now it's located in Section 5, and FDA has done this just to make the order of the sections a bit more intuitive and to match the actual human factors engineering process. Then in Section 7, we have the identification and description of critical tasks. The 2022 guidance recommends that the manufacturer describe the level of severity of a given harm, such as a qualitative 5-level severity rating from ISO 14971. This will help clarify how a task's severity of harm relates to how critical tasks are determined to be critical or not critical. So those are the major points that we thought were worthwhile to cover in a video. Like I said before, our website does have an article that more thoroughly describes the differences, or the updates rather, from 2016 to 2022. Visit our website at research-collective.com to learn more. Thanks for watching.